In this lesson, I'll show you how to compute probabilities with permutations. What you'll need to be successful here is the permutations formula, which is shown right here, and knowledge of the fundamental counting principle, which we'll refer back to when we get to that part. The question reads, 6 jokes about books by Groucho Marx, George Carlin, Stephen Wright, Greg Ray, Jerry Seinfeld, and Phyllis Diller are each written on one of 6 cards. The cards are placed in a hat and drawn one at a time. You're expected to find the probability that a man's jokes will be delivered first and a woman's joke delivered last, and the probability that a man's joke will be delivered first and a man's joke will be delivered last. Now the reason why I've written down M and W is because, in case you're not familiar, these are comedians, and the first 5 are men and the last one is a woman. Now with that being said, let's start with A. The probability that a man's joke will be delivered first and a woman's joke will be delivered last. The first thing that we want to do is find the total number of possibilities, regardless of who's first and who's last. And the way we do that is by using the permutation formula. And we've chosen the permutation formula over the combination formula because order matters. And also what's written here is that R is equal to N when no subset is selected. So since we're concerned about all 6 of these comedians, R is going to equal to 6 and so is N. And with that being said, we have P, where N is 6 and R is 6, is equal to 6 factorial over 6 minus 6 is equal to 0, and by definition 0 factorial is 1. So all we have to do is find out what 6 factorial is, and if you use your calculator, that's equal to 720 permutations. Now, we need to find the probability that a man's joke will be delivered first and a woman's last. So we know the total number of possibilities, it's 720. So I'll write down 720, but we have to find the probability of a man's first and a woman's last. Now the best way that I found to do this is to actually create a visual of the cards. Here's what I mean. Create 6 boxes, like that you see on your screen, and we know that the first card needs to be a man, and there are 5 men out of the 6 comedians here. So there are 5 possible choices. Now according to the fundamental counting principle, I want to refer to that now. It states that the number of ways in which a series of successive things can occur is found by multiplying the number of ways in which each thing can occur. So I'll apply that here. I know in my first selection there are 5 men, so there are 5 choices. Also, the last choice has to be a woman. So since there's only one woman, there's only one choice. So I know that by the end of it, I need to multiply whatever I get here by 1. Now if I've chosen one man, and the middle cards have to all be men, then we have 4 choices left, because one man has been taken out of the mix. Now that 2 cards are delivered, this one also has to be a man, and there's only 3 men left. 2 men left at this stage, and 1 man left here. Now we multiply 5 times 4 times 3 times 2, that is equal to 120. So out of the 700 possible ways without man being first and woman being last, only 120 will fit this criteria. And we can use our calculator now. 120 divided by 720, and we end up with a sixth. So 1 over 6, and that percentage is approximately 16.6%. In question B, they want us to find the probability that a man's joke will be delivered first and a man's joke will be delivered last. So once again, you want to start off with your 6 cards, and I'll write down that the probability of man first and woman last is equal to 720 possible ways, and we're going to find out what this numerator is. So the first card has to be a man. There are still 5 choices, and the last card also has to be a man. So if we've already selected the first card whose joke is from a man, then you have 4 options left here. So at some point we'll be multiplying 4 times 5. Now, the middle cards can be men or women, and if I've already taken away 2 cards, leaving us with 4 comedians left, then there are 4 options here, 3 here, 2 left, and that last one. So multiplying 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 4, let's use our calculator. 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 4 gives us 480 ways that can happen. Dividing that by 720 gives us 2 over 3, which is equivalent to 66.6%. And there you have it. That is how to compute probabilities with permutations.